Hi, family. It is I, African Osorenko, and I am back at you with another video. So, family, I want to bring you a video today uh, about this gender war that we are ever seem to be facing uh, for the last few years. And although it is getting a little better, I still see it on social media, different sites, and it can be, it can be causing a lot of friction between us as Black men and Black women. That's who I'm talking about. Because that's what's important to me, Black men and Black women. So, family, what you know, other than causing friction between us as Black men and Black women, it is also um, interfering with us economically. Because if we're fighting amongst ourselves, we can't come together and build economically our community up. You know what I'm saying? Recently I saw where I think it was like 40,000 or 40 something. I forget how many it was, but Black women came together, and it wasn't just Black women. There were liberal white men. There was LGBT groups and different groups of people. There were even some Black men that came together to raise money for her campaign and her campaigning. And I just thought that we are donating money towards that, but we are lacking in the area of donating money towards our community to build us up economically and in other ways as well, educationally, just different avenues. We're not doing that for our children. So, family, I'm going to go ahead and I want to first read you something, and then I'm going to play a little something for you to listen to, okay? So, I am going to give the copyright disclaimer, okay? So, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All right, family. So now let us go. I'm reading an article about Black gender wars, and it's in the Chicago Crusader. Okay, it's a Chicago newspaper. So it says a poll of 1,100 African Americans from NPR, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and the Harvard School of Public Health asked respondents between the ages of 18 to 48 about whether they were seeking long-term relationships. They found a significant gender skew among Blacks. The majority of respondents, 57%, were not interested in seeking long term relationships. And more women than men are opting out of seeking those relationships as a goal. So, family, not only are we gender warring, now we're determining we're not going to come together, as family and couples and uh, procreate or anything, habitate, cohabitate. We're not going to come together at all now. Okay. Not only are we kind of having a difficult time coming together on the political issues that we're facing, but we're also having issues coming together as couples, as families, those kind of relationships. Okay, so it says there's a famous quote bandied about recently attributed to the late great Malcolm X. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. Basically, increasing numbers of Black women are feeling left out and disrespected. One of the factors that contributes to this mindset is related to the high number of Blacks raised in single parent households, where there is a reduced experience related to intact families. This leads to the development of low expectations in women who come from these homes. So, family, let me say this first and foremost. First of all, within the states of America, within the country of America, it's not just the Black families that are experiencing this. Now we are focusing on the Black family because we're Black family. So we will be, intently focusing on us. However, just to, contradict this information, it's not just Black families anymore. I mean, I work with a vast group of a diverse group of people, and I can tell you now, there are single mothers in every community in America, period. There are single mothers in the Jewish community. There are single mothers in the Iranian communities, the Palestinian communities, the Asian communities, the Hispanic communities, the Native American communities, the Indian communities. I am seeing single mothers in every single community. Now, usually, if it's different religions, but now with Muslims, I have seen it. I have seen it. But I don't see it as much because maybe Muslims, I don't know, tend to get married, to stay married or whatever, for the good or the bad. But I haven't seen a lot of Muslims, and I will say that honestly. Okay, so let me finish. One of I'm sorry. No matter what side of the fence you find yourself on regarding the issue of gender wars, there is an extreme imbalance in our communities. The resulting dysfunction can be seen in crime statistics, inadequate educational access, poverty, homelessness, and just about any other problem that the Black community will face. Who is responsible for this predicament? Men are pointing the fingers at women, blaming them for the dysfunction. And women are pointing the fingers at men. The truth is, it's probably somewhere in between. It's certain, however, that if the community is to heal, it will take all hands on the proverbial deck to fix things. The family won't just take one side. It's not just the women that need to work at fixing these issues in our community. It's not just the men that need to work at fixing these issues in our community. It's not just one or the other, it is both. Sides need to work at it intently, together, without hindering, okay, and issues. It has been said by some observers that gender problems tend to be the bellwethers of the demise of a civilization. We have to listen. The demise of a civilization based and brought on by gender wars. Family, that is what is going to happen if we don't stop this gender war. It should stop being taught to young little children, because not only am I hearing teenagers at it and young adults in their young 20s and 30s, because we got these old buzz heads. Some of them are in their 20s and 30s, ignorant, walking around blaming the other group, the other sex, the opposite sex, for the issue. The issue is based off all of us. All right. So it is the calm before the storm, the harbinger of doom. We are truly in the throes of a struggle in this regard, and it will be important for the Black community to come together in an attempt to offset this malevolent trend. We cannot delude ourselves into thinking that we can ignore the problem and it will just go away, because it won't, family. We must face this gender related problem, though admittedly a complex one, head on. One difficulty that must be overcome is that gender roles might need to be modified. There may have to be families where women take on roles traditionally reserved for men, i.e., sometimes maybe the breadwinner. Mm, I would say that would depend. If you're already married to that man and something should happen to him physically, he gets sick, I would say absolutely. It's going to be based off of each different situations, and every situation is not the same, so we can't expect it to be the same. However, family, the article says this, but I tend to say it depends and it will vary. They may not be able to be the traditional stay at home moms, expecting men to carry all of the weight. And men must become flexible and not be intimidated by the strong women that will result from this scenario. Okay. Also, another thing, strong men can deal with strong women. If you are a real alpha male, and when I say alpha male, I don't mean, you know, uh, you think a woman can't do anything but what you tell her she can do, or you feel that a woman is not capable of going out here and making a living, earning a living, or growing a business, and you don't want to support that. Or you just feel a woman should be at home cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children. You go to work and then you come home and you don't have any responsibility in the home with the children, but just you're at home and now feed me and I'm going to bed and we can have sex once we get it. No, we have to come together, family. Women have to come together. Men have to come together. Women can't be out there, just thinking, okay, if her husband is the one who is bringing in the income and she's a stay at home, oh, well, I don't have to do anything. I don't cook. What do you mean cook? I'm not cooking, or not taking care of the children properly. No, family, we have to come together. We really have to come together now, because we are teaching our young that are coming up something that is unhealthy for our whole community, for our community in total, family. Okay. So it goes on to say that the focus should be on Black partnerships of an egalitarian nature where mutual respect is evident, self love is needed for healing. And finally, Black men and women must learn to love each other regardless of skin tone. Hopefully, we can evolve in this regard. Let me say this, okay? Uh, for I want to be positive, but there are people that are negative that will watch this video and will take a whole different message away from it. Whatever, that's fine. Let me say this. I think as Black women, I know Black women. I'm a Black woman. We love Black men. Black men, we love you very much. We could not make it without you. And I believe real Black men love Black women. I know that. It's inevitable, because the Most High Yah put us here to love one another. So I know that Black men love Black women. Now, these silly, ignorant people, these people with these podcasts, red shoe or red pill, whatever they are, okay, you know what I'm saying? We must pay less and less and less attention to these people. These women that come on and bash black men, you know what I'm saying? We got to let it go, family. We have been too integrated into the white man's society. We have. We have been so ingrained into his society that we have taken on all of his characteristics. Family, we have taken on characteristics that I remember coming up as a young black girl, a young black child, you didn't see in our community. You didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? Such as, I'm going to say one, is pedophilia. Family, we were that when I grew up, I don't remember as many young black girls being molested within their home by family members and, uh, you know, relatives. You know, I'm not saying it didn't happen, family, because of course it happened. I just remember, and I'm old enough, over half of a century, to remember it not being prevalent in our community. And however, now you see so many different dynamics within the community that you just don't know where it came from. You know, I want you to listen to this video of this young brother. I have a young brother and a young sister that both made videos, but I want you to hear the video, and I'm only going to play a few minutes of it, okay? This is the young brother.
One of the things we see now on like social media is the recent situation with Boris Kojo and his wife, Nicole Ari Parker. And you see guys sometimes complaining that you can't please women because it's almost like they're constantly moving the goalpost. And I don't think it's a woman thing. I think it's a human thing. Coming from Nigeria, I genuinely thought this wasn't like a dream, but I genuinely thought like money grew on trees, streets were paved with gold, and everybody was just happy, like it was heaven on earth. But you get here and you realize taxes, you realize 9 to 5, you realize racism and different things like that, and you start understanding that, you know, everything that glitters is not gold. Growing up in Nigeria, middle class is non-existent. It's either you're very well-to-do or you're surviving on a few dollars a day. And we were closer to the surviving on a few dollars a day. I mean, we were okay compared to some people, but we struggled. If you were to look at first world countries with really high GDPs, and their happiness index, you know, if they conducted surveys and asked the general public, you know, how happy are you? What you'll find is the better a country is doing, usually the less happy people are. And that's something that's always fascinated me, you know, so I'm
going to stop it right there, family. So as you heard the brother say, yes, coming to America, he thought that the streets were lined with gold. I don't know why. And that, you know, people were around here playing, I don't know, the violin, and, you know, people were floating on air and just so happy. But he realized once he got here, it's not like that. So add on all of life's pressures, family. You know, you're working 40 hours or more, maybe 50 hours. Some people working 60 hours a week. You know, you got a couple of kids, maybe 2, 3 children. You know, you got bills, you got everything going on. You may have an elderly parent that you help out or take care of. You know, then on top of that, you and your spouse are having issues, bumping heads, because you're not coming together, because you're looking at things one way and he's looking at things that you know, a whole different way. You know, there comes a time where we have to really come together, family. There's one other video I want you guys to hear. and to listen to, and just a couple of minutes of that.
It seems like Black men want things that Black women aren't willing to do. Like I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to just like cater to your world. Like I need you to be a part of my world too. You know.
So, as that young sister said it so eloquently, I'm not just coming in your life to be a part of your world and to only be your cheerleader and to cheer you on. I'm going to, tell you, family, look, I was married for 34 years. 34 years. Okay. And there's a lot of hardship and heartache and pain that goes into a relationship that lasts that long. Okay. But we have to all be willing to work our part and do what is necessary to maintain the relationship. I've heard men actually say that they're not going to accept their wife to be strong. She can't be a strong woman, which means what? I don't know. Why is her being a strong woman hindering you being a strong man? If she's still a respectful wife, if she still is a loving wife, a nurturing wife, she still cares for you, she's not, how can I say, in your face, disrespectful, just whatever. Why does it matter that she's a strong woman? See, my dad was a strong man, a very, very strong man. And he was so strong, such a strong man, Black man. When he put his mind to something, there was nothing that was going to prohibit him from doing or getting what he wanted. And through that, he was able to acquire 2 businesses that he started, 2 stores. Okay, successful Black man. And my mother was a Leo woman and a very strong little 4'9" or 5 feet tall, little tiny woman. But they had and my dad was a lot older than my mom. He was like 20 years almost older than my mom. But they had a relationship that worked for them. Okay? Her strongness didn't intimidate him. It didn't make him weak. It didn't interfere or, overstep onto his masculinity. She was still very, very feminine, but at the same time, she was strong. Because, family, the truth of the matter is, Black women have had to be strong for centuries, not just for ourselves, not just for our mates, not just for our parents, but also for our children. Just as Black men has had to be strong, so as have Black women. So we have to start accepting one another for who we are and loving one another, family, because it is high time that we love each other and come together as Black men and Black women should. You know, like I said, I think about my parents and uh, their ability to work around with one another. And when I say work around with one another, I mean they didn't, overstep each other. They didn't hinder each other. They loved each other. You know, somebody could come to my dad and say, "Hey, your wife said such and such a thing," and my dad would look at them and say, "Yeah," and she meant it. Okay, so he knew. So family, I really appreciate you coming, and watching this video. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the subscribers. And I absolutely appreciate if you share it. Keep coming back, family. This is about Black families, Black people, real love every day. Have a good one, family. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.